What's up, guys? So bringing you another top 100 gameplay. I do want to talk about a couple things real quick. Number one, in this game, this guy just ran the same play over and over. Literally, halfback dive up the middle, over, back to back to back to back. That's all he pretty much did the whole first 3 quarters, which I don't blame him. I mean, hey man, if it's working, it's working. Why stop? I'm guilty of doing it myself sometimes. But, you know, when the game was over, you know, I said good game, he said good game, but then he came out with the excuse of saying okay, sorry to spoil the game, guys, but I'm going to say that I did win this game. But he said that his excuse for losing was that he did not take the game seriously. He was just messing around with the halfback dive, blah, 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 blah. But my thing is, I don't believe that at all, because if that were true, then in certain situations in this game, whenever it's like 3rd and 7, no, 3rd and long basically for him, because sometimes I did stop him on 1st and 2nd down, and whenever it's 3rd and long, he would come out and pass the ball, which makes sense. I mean, it's 3rd and long, you pass the ball, which means that if he really was just goofing around, he would have just kept running halfback dive. If that's how you really felt about it, or when you were trailing behind, he came out and shotgun and try to get big yards with big passes, which makes sense, which you would only do if you're trying to win the game and not goofing around. So I did not at all buy that excuse when he said he's just goofing around and just trying to goof around. No, I did not buy that at all. And second, later on in the game, a really big play comes for me with Kevin White, campus hero, and he called it a bailout. And I've heard that term so many times now. I'm sure you guys have used it or at least heard it. And honestly, I never bought into that idea of the word bailout, because if you would have done your job better, you wouldn't have been in that situation. So when someone tells me, oh, you only won because you got bailed out, my thing is, no. If you were playing better defense, then not better defense on that play, I mean better defense the whole game, because if you were playing better defense the whole game, then that, a bailout would not even be possible, because I'd be losing by maybe like 15 or 20 points. So I never want to hear that excuse from anybody towards me. If I win a game, I was not bailed out. If you would have just played better, you would have never been in that situation. So that's how I feel about that part. Now, one more thing I do want to talk about is my leaderboard ranking. People were telling me, how come I'm dropping from, because I was at my peak, I was like at 13, and now I'm like at 20, and people ask me why, since why am I dropping in ranking if I'm not losing that many games. And the thing is that when you rise up in the top 20, if you want to keep on going, it's all about how many games you play. There are some guys in the top 100, like the top 15 or top 10, those guys are playing like fucking 30 games a day. I don't know how they're pulling that off, man. I don't know how you're pulling 30 games off. Man, that's like 3 seasons in one day. I don't know how they're pulling that off. There's no way I can play that many games a day. It will be impossible for me to play that many games. So those guys, I can definitely see why they're in the top 100 or staying in the top 20. And this right here is what I'm talking about. Look at campus here, Kevin White, double coverage with Night Train Lane and whoever else. He's got Rod Woodson and someone else. So that's the play he was referring to being bailed out. So it's like, okay, you want to talk about the bailout on this right here. Look at Thanksgiving Langford, man, just throwing people off, man, proving to me why he still is a top 5 butcher back. But anyways, the leaderboard thing is because, like I said, it's not always about winning. It's about how many games you play as well. So you could play 50 games and lose them all, but if you sit it through and complete the entire game and get the full 1,000 coins, you're gonna start rising up. And since I've been playing subscribers, I don't have to play as many games. So I knew right away when I started playing subscribers, I knew for a fact my leaderboard ranking was gonna start dipping. So I'm not even surprised. I don't regret it. I would rather get these reviews done faster than just rising up in the leaderboard rankings. That's not as important to me. So anyways, guys, that's why I'm dropping. For those of you who have been asking me, that's why I've been dipping. And this game right here was a close game, and if that were true, if he really was just goofing around with the halfback dive in, then that is his fault for underestimating me and thinking that he could just win like that. Because as you can see, man, towards the end of the game, he did start passing the ball from shotgun. He wanted to win, so in my mind, that whole goofing around excuse was not real, in my opinion at least. But anyways, man, that's the end of that, man. I'll see y'all boys later, boys. Peace.